Good morning, Miss Smith.
Good morning, Rahul. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. But, I have something I want to talk to you about.
Of course, Rahul. What's on your mind?
Well, I understand English fairly well. I can read and write without much trouble, but when it comes to speaking, I just freeze up. I know the words in my head, but I can't seem to get them out when I talk. It's really frustrating. What can I do to improve my speaking?
I see. You're definitely not alone in this, Rahul. Many students face similar challenges. Being able to understand a language doesn't always translate immediately to speaking it fluently, but don't worry, there are strategies that can help you improve. Let's start by breaking down what might be causing the difficulty. Do you have any idea why you might be struggling?
I think it's partly because I'm nervous. When I try to speak, I worry that I'll make mistakes, and that makes me even more anxious. I end up speaking very slowly, or I just stay quiet because I don't want to embarrass myself.
Anxiety and fear of making mistakes are very common barriers to speaking a new language. It's completely normal to feel that way, but we can work on overcoming those fears. The key is to practice speaking in a low-pressure environment so that you can gradually build confidence. One thing to remember is that making mistakes is a natural part of the learning process. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become. Speaking English is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice.
That makes sense. But how should I practice? I feel like I don't have enough opportunities to speak English. Most of my friends and family speak our native language, so I don't get to use English much outside of class.
That's a common challenge, especially when you're not in an English-speaking environment. However, there are still plenty of ways to practice speaking English even if you're not surrounded by English speakers. Let's go through some strategies that can help.
Okay, I'm listening.
First, let's talk about self-practice. One of the simplest ways to practice speaking is to talk to yourself in English. It might sound a little strange at first, but it's actually a very effective way to practice forming sentences and getting used to speaking aloud. For example, you can describe what you're doing as you go about your day. If you're cooking, you could say, "Now I'm chopping vegetables," or "I'm boiling water for pasta." You can also narrate your thoughts, like, "I'm feeling a bit tired today," or "I need to finish my homework before I can relax." This helps you practice thinking in English and translating those thoughts into spoken words.
That's interesting. I never thought about talking to myself like that. But won't it be weird if someone hears me?
It might feel a little odd at first, but it's a very private form of practice. You can do it when you're alone, like in your room, while walking, or when you're commuting. The important thing is that you're getting used to vocalizing your thoughts in English. Over time, this will help reduce the hesitation you feel when speaking. Another way to practice is by reading aloud. Pick a book, article, or even your class notes and read them out loud. Focus on pronunciation, intonation, and the flow of your speech. This can help you get more comfortable with the rhythm of English and make it easier to speak in conversations.
Reading aloud seems doable. I can try that with my textbooks or even some articles online. But will this really help me with conversation skills?
It will certainly help with your fluency and confidence. Reading aloud is great for practicing pronunciation and getting comfortable with the sound of your own voice speaking English. However, you're right that conversations are a bit different because they're interactive and require you to think on your feet. To practice conversational skills, you can try finding a language exchange partner. This could be someone who is fluent in English and wants to learn your native language. You can have conversations where you help each other practice. There are also online platforms and apps where you can find language partners from around the world.
I've heard of those language exchange apps. I've never tried one, though. Do you think it's effective?
Absolutely. It's a fantastic way to practice real-life conversations. The best part is that your language partner will understand that you're learning, so there's no pressure to be perfect. It's a safe space to make mistakes, learn, and improve. Additionally, you could join English-speaking clubs or groups, either online or in your community. These groups often have regular meetings where members practice speaking English together. It's a supportive environment where everyone is there to improve their language skills, so it's another great opportunity for practice.
I'll look into that. But what if I don't always have someone to practice with? Are there other ways to improve my speaking on my own?
Definitely. One technique you can try is recording yourself speaking. You can choose a topic, set a timer for a few minutes, and just talk about it. Afterward, listen to the recording and evaluate your performance. Pay attention to areas where you might have hesitated, any words you struggled with, or if your pronunciation was unclear. This will help you identify specific areas to work on.
Recording myself, that sounds a bit intimidating. But I guess it's like hearing yourself in a mirror, right? It could help me see where I need to improve.
Exactly. It's a very useful tool because it allows you to reflect on your speech and track your progress over time. You'll likely notice improvements as you continue practicing. Another helpful exercise is shadowing. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't. What is shadowing?
Shadowing is a technique where you listen to someone speaking in English, like in a podcast, video, or speech, and then you try to imitate what they say as closely as possible, almost like you're shadowing their speech. You match their speed, intonation, and pronunciation as best as you can. It's a great way to practice the natural rhythm of English and improve your pronunciation. You can start with shorter clips and gradually move to longer and more complex ones as you get better.
That sounds challenging, but also like it could be fun. I could try it with some English movies or shows that I like.
Exactly. You can even use subtitles to help at first, and then gradually try to do it without them. It's a powerful way to improve your speaking skills because you're practicing with real-life examples of how English is spoken naturally.
I think I could try that. But what about vocabulary? Sometimes, I feel like I can't find the right words when I'm speaking. How can I improve that?
Expanding your vocabulary is definitely important for improving fluency. A good way to build your vocabulary is through active learning. When you come across new words while reading or listening, write them down along with their meanings and example sentences. Then, try to use those new words in your speaking practice, whether you're talking to yourself, recording yourself, or speaking with a language partner. Additionally, learning phrases and collocations, Words that naturally go together can help you speak more fluently. For example, instead of just learning the word make, you could learn common phrases like make a decision, make an effort, or make a mistake. This will help you speak more naturally and fluidly.
That makes sense. So, it's not just about individual words, but also how they fit together in sentences.
Exactly. The more you practice using these phrases in context, the easier it will become to recall them when you're speaking. It's also helpful to learn some basic conversation fillers like, well, you know, that native speakers use to give themselves time to think. These can make your speech sound more natural and help you feel less pressured to speak perfectly all the time.
I've noticed those fillers in conversations. They do seem to make speech flow more naturally. I'll try to incorporate them into my practice.
That's a great idea. Remember, Rahul, improving your speaking skills is a gradual process. It's important to be patient with yourself and keep practicing regularly. The more you immerse yourself in English through listening, speaking, reading, and writing, the more fluent and confident you'll become.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. I feel a lot better knowing that there are so many ways to practice. I'll start incorporating these strategies into my routine.
You're most welcome. I wish you good luck in your English learning journey.